time now to take a spin with Headline Roulette. These are the week's most compelling, random, and interesting headlines. We look high and low to bring the country's top minds to guide us through the chaos. Today's headline dealer is friend of the show, host of Gerard versus Evil, Gerard Michaels. Gerard, are you ready?
Let's rock and roll, Chanel.
All right, let's roll. Headline number one, FBI's new task force probing Tesla takedown anarchist blog, doxing site as fiery attacks raise domestic terrorism fears. Oh my, so much to unpack there. What do we have?
Nothing says we're the good guys like drawing swastikas on strangers' cars and blowing up random places where Americans work, right? It's pretty incredible that the people that think that they're morally superior to all of us, and they're the good guys, are always the one engaging in some sort of domestic violence. It's also pretty incredible that the same 80% of them seem to be in all of these places. Some might even call that a sleeper cell. I don't know. All I can hope for is that Elon Musk, who has done nothing short of save Western civilization, buys companies that need to be terrorized in the future. Maybe Elon can buy Pfizer or something like that, so these people actually protest and get to the bottom of some companies that could use this attention.
Oh no, it's crazy. And I'm old enough to remember a time when if you were a parent showing up at a PTA meeting and you said, I don't want my kids having to share bathroom with males or males with mental issues, then you were hauled out and arrested and labeled a domestic terrorist. The same people who were on that little train seem to be completely silent about these clear domestic acts of terrorism.
Yeah, that's such a good point, right? I mean, people spent 6 months of their lives in prison for walking single file through a building that their tax dollars paid for. Meanwhile, these folks that mostly peacefully burn down every city they come into somehow seem to escape the hammer of justice. I do often wonder, how long are we going to be reasonable with people who refuse to be reasonable? At some point, if you try to reason with somebody who is unreasonable, it just becomes an exercise in insanity.
Look, I'm a realist and I'm somewhat of a skeptic when it comes to changing people. So I've never been on the side saying, yeah, I think we can converse with these people reasonably. I think that they're a bit of a lost cause. Maybe they grow up, maybe they have kids, maybe they start paying taxes. I'm open to seeing them transform. But frankly, these are really overgrown children who don't seem to have any obligations in society. They're allergic to responsibility, which is why you see them going all out for killing off babies, going out for blocking puberty, going all out for all of these actions that are broad and societal, where the common thread is they just don't like responsibility.
Yeah, they're sad and angry people, and they want us to be sad and angry. And whenever we're not, it makes them very upset. I mean, think of the things that they tried to quote unquote cancel. They try to cancel comedy. They try to take over art. They put their slogans on all of our sports. Everything that is just, about being fun, God forbid, being proud of yourself, your culture, your country. Like, no, they want to, they wake up, these poor souls wake up every day angry that they did. And they want to take out their wrath on the rest of us. And I think for some of us, we keep waiting. Like you said, they're going to grow up. And maybe we can white pill this thing and say the Democratic Party is under 29% approval rating right now. If you would have told me in 1999 when Bill Clinton was playing the saxophone and, taking down fat chicks 2 at a time, that the Democratic Party would somehow be under 30%, there's no way. You're right. I mean, this was the party of Kennedy. These were the cool guys. But, now they're less than 29%, and only 10% of them probably actually exist. The rest are all dead. So, once Doge gets rid of those Social Security numbers, then maybe, we'll actually see that outside of USAID and the UN and the WEF, there's actually only like 11 real Democrats left. So maybe this will take care of itself.
Gender confused Karens who have become really good at drawing swastikas.
Yeah.
Headline number 2. Trump says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has learned a lesson after the Yemen attack leak glitch. Interesting use of language there. What do you think of this?
Well, look, they knew that these guys like to drink a little bit before and after work when they got on the job. So I mean, you got to double check on these text guys. Come on, boys. The good news is that the person that they included in the text thread worked for the Atlantic. So at least we know nobody saw it. So that's good. But it's not a good look. We got to call balls and strikes here, Chanel. You know, we go after the left when they deserve it. This is a tough one. This is one of those, like, I got drunk and texted my ex, and now I woke up the next morning like, ooh, so about bombing Yemen last night. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of funny threads to pull from this, and obviously it's a serious topic. But when you actually break down what the content was, and it's not that serious. Like the guys were being guys; they were talking to each other. They're clearly bros. One of the things that's funny is the left is all upset that the Secretary of State, the National Security Advisor, and the Secretary of Defense all like each other and talk to each other. If you remember, the Biden administration did not have such palsy pals on the cabinet level. They hated each other. So this is almost like they're almost jealous.
9 meetings in 4 years. 9 cabinet meetings in 4 years. Those guys
hated each other. The Biden's cabinet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't like it, but we have to call balls and strikes. At the same time, the people that are haranguing this had no idea, especially the legacy media. Our Secretary of Defense went missing for 6 months. And nobody even knew it. Nobody even knew the guy was gone. They're like, oh, yeah, no, he was having surgery. We're like, what? Like, we're running 2 proxy wars. Where's this guy? This text message thing, it's a little sloppy.
He was eating Jell-O at some hospital.
Yeah, well, that's right. And, look, also, this is a younger generation. They're on Slack. They're on WhatsApp. My favorite takeaway is that JD Vance loathes Europe. Like, I can only love JD Vance so much. Like, it's a little weird for me now. He's like, I loathe bailing out Europe again, but okay, I guess. And I'm like, well, JD is me, and I'm JD. Like, yeah, absolutely. Do your own.
Another great takeaway from all this is, you're hearing them talk behind the scenes the way they talk on the public stage, which, again, so refreshing when it comes to politicians and people who are usually coached about being extremely, I guess, neutral about how they use their language. It's refreshing to see that they are really what they seem to be on camera as they are behind the scenes.
I could not agree with you more. I think we are entering the age of authenticity. And one of Trump's appeals is that you can very much tell he is what he is. And look, yeah. Conor McGregor is starting to talk about becoming the president in Ireland. Now, I have no idea how Irish parliamentary politics works, but I think authenticity is going to rule the day. And I also think this was a huge score for diversity. This is where progressives can't get out of their own way. The only sane person in this chat group was Tulsi Gabbard going, yeah, just by the way, there's some numbers in here I don't know. So if anybody leaks any classified information, I am going to prosecute you. So, like, you always need a little, This is what the progressives always wanted their whole life, right? They wanted non-politicians. They wanted diversity of age and background. And here they have, these people getting together, just talking like regular people, and then it's blowing their minds. They hate it. And it's, look, it's sloppy. I don't like that it's sloppy, but at the same time, I feel like I could be friends with Pete Hegseth and JD Vance.
I'm sure you could. Headline number 3. All right. This one I think you can weigh in on, help us shed some light. College kids and high school kids are really getting away with on spring break in Florida seem to be cocaine, weed, Molly, everywhere. What is this? That just seems like quite a party.
I hope these kids are at least smart enough to test for fent, but, who knows? But look, I'm more concerned, frankly, about what's going on in LA during spring break, where it seems like every celebrity's kid is coming out as non-binary or gender confused or, God forbid, on hormones and stuff like that. I'm way more concerned about the kids that are being prescribed hormones and gender-affirming care by doctors and adults than some normal college kids that are out there just trying to sow some oats. I mean, I'm much more concerned about the progressives that are burning cars and literally willing to sacrifice their own children to the altar of woke. It really concerns me, because if they're willing to do this to their own kids or allow this to be done to their kids, there's nothing they wouldn't go along with happening to you and me. And that's the most concerning thing about this to me. Not to make
I was about to argue back with you, but you actually made a really interesting point. And yes, if you comparatively speaking, if you were to put them on a scale, you would certainly say that the kids in California are not on the right track, at least as far as their celebrity parents are putting them on. Gerard Michaels, always a pleasure to have you on, and hopefully you will find some more fun festivals and other such shindigs to stake out for Fine Point. You mentioned before we came on the show the Renaissance Festival in Florida, so I need you to go find some more festivals to stake out. We're going to start putting them on our schedule, and we'll show up.
I would love nothing more to enjoy a weekend of whimsical skedaddling with you and the crew.
All right, until then. Until future skedaddles, we'll see you soon. Remember to download the OAN Live app on your TV and your favorite streaming devices. You can also catch any Fine Point episodes that you may have missed right there in the app with our video on demand feature. Spread the word. I leave you with this. For glory gives herself only to those who have always dreamed of her. Good night, Godspeed, until tomorrow.